Welcome to the first early release of the 2015-16 school year. In today's video, you will be reminded of the 3 team goals for the year, be introduced to a new PLC segment called Time to Learn, and be given a checklist of tasks that need to be completed in your Google Doc by the end of today's 90 minutes. In order to pique your curiosity for today's Time to Learn segment, let's read the quote on the screen to see if you can guess what today's topic will be. Questions wake people up, they prompt new ideas, they show people new places and new ways of doing things. Before we get to today's Time to Learn, let's review what questions we have to answer throughout the 2015-16 school year, both as a team and individually. First, what's your instructional plan? Do you have a clear destination for your students for every day you meet with them? Last month, I shared with you a curriculum map template. You can either use that template or create your own. Make sure you are including essential questions in your plan. The second question is, how do you know when your plan is working? This is where your data comes into play. Remember that you must have a data discussion during each PLC team meeting time. At least 3 of these data discussions must be SLO related. The other discussions can be chosen by your team. The third question to answer is, how can I get kids engaged in their learning? Remember that if your team has time, find a focus to learn about. Administration will be evaluating every staff member on all 4 domains and all 21 components of the Danielson evaluation tool. However, our specific focus for this year will be clear objectives, effective questioning and discussion, and engagement. And now, our new segment of PLC team meetings called Time to Learn. Did you guess the topic? If your answer included something like the importance of asking good questions, you were right on track. Let's look at some recent research found in this month's Educational Leadership magazine. When a person's curiosity about a topic is piqued, it becomes easier for that person to remember information presented on the topic, and even to learn information that's not related to the topic. If this is true, then we're on the right path when we create essential questions for our students to ponder at the beginning, throughout, and at the end of our lessons. But like anything, asking good questions takes practice. According to Grant Wiggins and Denise Wilbur, essential questions rarely arise in the first draft. Good questions take time and practice to create. It's easy to create factual questions, but as researcher Alfie Kohn states, every time we ask students, what was the name of the town in which the characters in the story lived? We leave less time for questions like, why do you think the characters never left home? In order to model the process, I've come up with an essential question for your team to ponder. How will an essential question change the way you plan, teach, and assess in your classroom? In a moment, I will ask you to stop the video so that you can reflect on this question. Feel free to write your answer down. As you are reflecting on this question, look at the screen. The top box gives the criteria that makes a question essential, and the bottom box are some examples of essential questions. Ready to reflect? Leave the video playing. I'll give you the signal to stop the video to discuss your thoughts. Now stop the video and do a quick whip around with your team, allowing everyone to give an answer to the question, how can using essential questions affect the way a teacher plans, teaches, and assesses? Stop the video. Now that you've heard from the whole team, have your PLC point person share one or more of your answers on the Google Doc called Essential Questions Forum. Go ahead and project the forum online so that everyone can see the answers as they populate. Have a quick discussion as you watch each team enter their answers. PLC point person or principals, stop the video so teams can enter answers and then start the video again after all the teams have shared their answers. Want to learn more about improving your use of questions in the classroom? This month's edition of Educational Leadership magazine is all about questioning for learning. All of you are able to access the articles by going to the ASCD site under Publications and then clicking on the link called Access the Digital Edition of Educational Leadership. At this time, it doesn't appear that you need a subscription or a login to read the magazine. In this issue, there are multiple articles that can help you improve your questioning and engagement in your classroom. If you have time today, have each team member select one article, read it, and then share what you've learned about questioning with your team. In order to pique your curiosity for next month, let's read one more quote from Alfie. If we're asking meaningful questions, but still using tests of factual knowledge, we're giving a gift with one hand, only to take it away with the other. As you work on your assessments, think about this idea. In order to ensure a well-run and productive PLC team meeting, you need to get things done. One of the first tasks that you'll be doing each month is reviewing and planning your team meetings. Here's a reminder of what that Google spreadsheet looks like. This document is designed to help your team stay on track, and it will help administration know what you're working on so they can better help you. Remember, your plan is saved in your Google Drive. The name of the document should contain your team name and the words 2015-16, PLC tasks and timeline. The list of district goals are at the top of each page. The green section is designed to help you remember what you did last month, and the yellow section is designed to help you plan what you need to complete before the next month. Because they're essentially asking you the same thing, you only have to fill out one section and you can decide which one works best for your team. The blue section is the most important. This is where you plan how and what you're going to accomplish throughout the year. Make sure you have this done before your team starts working each month so everyone knows what they have to do. If you copied my template, you'll notice that there are tabs at the bottom. Each tab has a month on it. As you plan for each month, make sure you are on the correct tab. If you don't have tabs, you can duplicate this document by going to the August tab, clicking on the little arrow, and selecting Duplicate. Then click on the tab to rename it. The second task is to make sure you have a Google spreadsheet where you can enter your SLO data. This is something that each team creates, and there's not a template for one. The third task is to work on the work. Using your plan, make sure everyone has a job to do in the allotted time and get to work on it. Remember that next month, the PLC time is not on an early release day, but instead it coincides with the Parent-Teacher Conference Day. The normal times that we will be meeting is 10:30 to 12 o'clock, with the Parent-Teacher Conferences running from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Last year, we did allow teams to meet at different times, but the entire team must be in agreement, and the meeting has to take place within 2 weeks of October 15th. Please let your principal know if you are changing your time or date. In the spirit of our questioning theme, I leave you with one other question from the viewpoint of a student. How come the teacher asks all of the questions when I'm the one who needs to know things? Remember that on your timeline there is a place for comments, questions, and challenges. This is a space for your team to enter any questions that you might have. I will be checking with these after each PLC team meeting and making comments back to you on your timeline. Have a great meeting.